to my channel. So as you can probably tell, I have a box because it's going to be another unboxing video, and this one is from the Spidershop again. I do look around other places to buy some tarantulas, but as you see, I've got a lot of variety within my channel, so I'm trying to find things that I don't have. And the Spidershop have come across a few things that they have now picked up, and I've not had them before. The reason why is just because the price of them has just been way too much, and I couldn't condone getting them, and if they're too small they die, and it's a lot of money to like just go through and replace them every time. But the Spidershop being the best in the UK as they are, I've got these in and they sell them cheaper than anywhere else. I can't see the price being beaten by the Spidershop, so I've got them. So I've got about 3 different species in here, 2 I've never had before, 1 you're going to love, and I'm going to show you them in a minute when I get through them. But let's get straight on with the boxing, and let's show you what I got. Okay, so just blanked off my address. Let's get my trusty little knife that's getting blunt. Okay, so open that up. Get a nice little leaflet in there as well. And I was looking at these as well, the isopods on the Spidershop. They've got some amazing colours, so if you do like these, do check them out. And this shows you where the next shows are going to be. Look, they've got all the dates on there. And I will be going to BTS, I think, this year. Definitely want to go to that because I didn't make it last year. Another little leaflet of these, and I did actually look at these yesterday because I'm interested in getting some more jumping spiders, and they do this with an actual kit. I think it's $39.99. You get everything included, you just have to get your spider, so that's one to definitely have a look at. All right, box within a box is in here. Oh, I forgot I ordered these. So in here I've got a culture of springtails. Love it as well. So there's quite a few in there as well, so they will get more and more, so I'll bring them up to temperature and they'll start breeding. So we've got to have these for the cleanup crew in all the enclosures. These are a must-have for tarantulas. Next, I thought I'd try something different, so some frightless fruit flies for the smaller species that I have. And as you can see, there's only a couple popping out there because it's quite cold outside, but give it a day or two in my cabin, they'll be up to temperature and these would be blooming everywhere. Okay, so next box. Slice through there. So open this one out. Clear out some of these. Right, so the first one we've got there is the P. Lungardi. So that is, I think it's the Fort Hall baboon, 1 to 2 centimeters. I've never had these before, but I love the coloration. I know some of people think they're a bit bland because they're whites, blacks, greys, but I absolutely love these. So I think I've got 2 of these. Okay, so there's the second one, P. Lungardi. I've got 2 of those. Let's put that aside. Then I have this species here, I think it's Selenocosmia crassipes. You may see these on my channel previously. I'll put a link above to the previous video. Absolutely love these. These are the Queensland whistling spider. Very voracious, fossorial sort of species, but they do sit out on the open as well. But these are such good eaters and they're quite feisty. Love these. So I've got 1 of those. Well, check that again. I've got 2 of those, so 3 centimeters. So these are a good size, so they should be quite good to rehouse. Then I've also got, oh, that's quite heavy, that one. So I've also got a H. gigas. If you see in my previous video, I did a, it was quite some time ago, I did a water enclosure with 1 of these for my adult female. I bought her at BTS about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and she already had 2 sacks. And she was quite old, so she stayed with me for quite some time, but then unfortunately passed away. She actually looked really, really old, so I've got another sub-adult of this one, so we'll see how big this one is and put that in another enclosure as well. So that'll be done in its own video. then these are the ones that I'm excited about. So it's X Intermedia, 3 centimeters. So I think most of you will know what color these get when they're older. So I think it's called like the Blue Bloom or something like that, but they're pink, but the legs go like a deep black and they have like a bluish sort of sheen on it. But absolutely amazed to get these. I've been after these for such some time, and as I said, Spidershop, really good price at the minute for these. So I got one of those and I got another one. You've got to get 2. I can never just get one on its own, so I had to get 2. So there's 2 of those. You can see they put some good moisture in there on this one, so we'll rehouse these in a separate video as well. And then I just got some trusty crickets, some little tiny micro ones for all my babies that I've got, so I've got a tub of those. And then I've got a tub of more silent crickets, but medium, just for a slightly grown on sling. So that's all of the stuff in the box today. So let's get on with what I'm going to show you. I think first off, let's start with the Lungardi, because it's only 1 to 2 centimeters. Let's just see how big these are. Straight in there with the hands. Oh wow, it's like a light, tiny light brown colour, so it's a good 2 centimeters. You can see it in there. So I think what I'll do with these is I may rehouse these in these sling pots just for one molt, and then I'll move them onto something else. So I'll rehouse them in this video now. Let's get straight into rehousing those. So there we go. So I'll put a tiny bit of substrate in there, maybe a little bit more. Just compact it down, put a tiny bit of moisture in. So what I like to do for these is put a little bit of this in. So you can do a tiny bit of cork bark, but I find for the tiny slings, cut that off. There we go, just to make it feel slightly safe, so it can do some webbing in there and it's got some sort of shelter. So let's see if we can get this one straight in. Whoa, that's fast. Beautiful coloration. I'll put a picture up to the left there of one as an adult, and I think you'll agree, absolutely stunning. See if I can get this to go in without running anywhere else. Nope, and he's gone. And there we have it, look. Almost like an OBT. It is, it's almost like an OBT at the minute, but very, very fast. Let's see if I can encourage it in. And there we have it, simple as that. Good size as well, so definitely it's going to be absolutely fine in this sling pot. It'll probably do some webbing in here as well, but one more molt and I'll probably move that over, because I like to give my tarantulas a little bit of room. I like to give them some room to manoeuvre and do some webbing. You can see the leg span on it's already the size of the leaf, but you can see that that's behind there. It's got plenty of room to make itself its home. But very fast species, and apparently I've read that as they get older they can go into fret quite a lot. Let's get on to the next one. Okay, number 2. Let's just get this one prepared. Let's have a look first. right at the top. I'm not afraid at all. Let's get this one out and get this one in. So for these I normally do the same, so put a little bit of water in the bottom, put some dry substrate on, put a little bit of water on the top, mix it in. But where you've got these ridges on the sling part, I normally always make sure the substrate is up to that level, just in case they want to burrow down. But I think this species will just web around, so it'll be fine. Should soak in by itself. Same again. There we go, so just bend the leaf round so the stem goes in, creates like a curve, a little bit of an arc so it can have like a little bit of a home so it can web underneath. It can go behind and sit on it. But it gives me a chance to, if it were use this side as a home, then I can always water this side with a few droplets. Right. See if this want to run off. The colours of it. Oh, where are you going, mate? So I'll get this one to go in. And there we go. 2 of them in. Really good size slings, these ones, so I'm going to give it like a day. If you see the abdomen's not really as big as what I'd like for a sling. I like to keep the abdomens a little bit more plumper, just because they go through molting at a more rapid pace, so their metabolic rate is a lot higher. So you need to keep on top of the humidity with these ones. You need to keep on top of the feeding, just because they're going to be fast at growing for the first couple of molts, and then I'll start slowing them down just so then they can grow steadily and not have an over enlarged abdomen. So quite easy rehouse for these, but I think as they get older they'll be a lot more difficult for a rehouse. But absolutely happy I've got these in my collection. First time for me, so that's those done. I think what I'll do now is I'll get on to rehousing the Carrascopes, so you can see them as well now in this video. I'm going to use these pots. These little deli pots I've already got prepared. I've used for tons and tons of other babies I've had. I think I had the Piaminias in here at one stage, but I think for 3 centimeters, if I show you the size of the tub, is enough for these guys for at least a molt, maybe 2, depending on how chunky they are or how leggy they are. But I think for the first off, they should be just fine. Same again for these, just a bit of water on the bottom. Same for the other one. And the reason I do that is so I'm creating layers of moisture between. Will burrow. They'll also need a little bit of room at the top because they like to sit out on the top when they're ready to catch prey. They're quite ideal, these ones. You know when to feed them. They'll hang around by the entrance of the burrow. So I've done it up to the air hole, so you can see where I've done it. So it's dry, it goes wet, and then it goes dry, then wet, then dry on top. But now I'll just create a hole. And I'll just do one center. With this species though, they make multiple holes. So they'll start off in the first one that you've given them, and then they'll web around the hole, and then they'll make a couple other chambers as well. So I'll just move that out of the way. You don't need to put no decoration on top. They don't need it at all. They make their own design in here completely. So I just start in the middle and I just work my way out. And because I've sprayed on different layers on the way down, it will hold its consistency, as you can see. but then also if it needs its humidity more, it can come up to where the humidity is, or it can go down to a drier area. So there we go. Find a little bit of water. And there we go. So that's ready for these guys. So let's see if I can get them in. Let's do one at a time. Right, so here we go. So see if I can give you a look at these, but these are fast. They will just fly out, and the last ones I had went into threat pose straight away. So let's just see. So normally when they've been shipped, they're normally quite calm. Let me just check it first. And these ones can bark, but it's not like they're barking, they're rubbing their chelicerae together, but it either sounds like a whistle, or it can sound a bit rough, like a little tiny bark. But they're normally feisty. Yeah, you just turn around to face me. Let's see if I can show you. You can see in there, they're good size. So I think what I'm going to do is, it's already turned around. Oops, not having any of that. So we can put it to go straight in the hole. Right there, look. Almost there. Hopefully it won't run out, so it's a good size. And it will make that hole a lot bigger, and it will probably do, the last ones, I had 3 of them, and they did 3 different separate entrances. One that went straight down, don't run off, and then 2 that joined together. So it's going to have a little look around. Ooh. See if I can get him to just jump straight in. Please stay in there this time, but I'm going to put the lid on so that it can make its house. And I'll show you in a future one exactly what it does. Can't really see it, but it's in there. But let's get on to the second one. Okay, see if this one's just as chilled. Always check the other end, because sometimes when you get from different places, you get the kitchen towel wrapped in a circle, so the ends open and they will come out backwards if you just pull it straight out. But with the Spidershop, they always do it enclosed, which is brilliant. So you've only got the one way to worry about. See if I can get it out first, just to give you a look. Don't want this running off. This was extremely fast. Come on, little fella. Nice fat abdomen. we go, so I'll give you a look in here, look. Exploring around. These are deceiving because they can climb the plastic as well. They just bolt when they're ready to go and they'll run straight on up, but they want to naturally just hide and go into a hole. So I'm going to get this one straight in, but I'll put a picture up of the adult coloration. Not much difference from this. I think they are just like a brown species. They are quite dark, but still. Well, here we go, getting ready to go. So let's get this one in. I'll use my finger just make that hole a little bit bigger, because it's a little bit bigger than what I thought, which is always a good thing to have. It's nothing worse than when you get a spider and you think, oh yeah, it's going to be so many centimeters, and it actually looks a bit smaller. So these are really 3 to 4, which is really good. So let's see if I can get this one in. Oh, come on, bud. Laid some webbing already. So what we'll do, no, don't you dare come out. Down you go. Quite bold of a species, they always turn round to you. But what I'm going to do is let them settle. It's got a good enough hole in there for this one. There we go. So if you want to see the rest of them, stay tuned for the next videos where I'll rehouse the H gigas, and I'll also do the X intermedia. But there you have it, another unboxing from the Spidershop with some really awesome good condition tarantulas. So do and definitely go check them out and purchase yourself something as well. So here you go. So that's mine. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, so it's been a day later, in fact 2 days later, and you can see them both using the hole, webbed up on the top as well. This one's come out just because I lifted the lid and it was caught on the web, but they are heavy webbers, these species. And what I'll do is I'm not going to put a water dish in here just purely because they web everywhere, and I'll just soak the substrate as and when needed, which I'm going to do in a second. But first off, I'm just going to see if they'll feed. They are both settled in, look, both doing the exact same. They stay like this for some time and then they'll do different channels in it as well. So let's just see if they'll feed. Ooh. Try and get in there, mate. But with these species, what I found as well is if you disturb them too much, it takes them a little bit of time to reset. Should turn around. As that cricket moves. Come on, buddy. Literally like walked straight up into your mouth. That was the slowest take ever, and that was quite a size cricket. Excuse me, quite a size cricket, but they are absolutely voracious. Once he's at this, he'll chuck it out, and this is one of the reasons why I'm not putting a water bowl in. They both, I had 3 before, and they all seem to throw out into the water bowl or the food remains. So I just moisten the substrate and just that seems to do them fine. But there you go.